Maine State Music Theater in Brunswick is kicking off its 2024 season with a production of the classic musical South Pacific.
There's a lot going on at this theater company this summer, and we talked about it with artistic director Kurt Dale Clark and Veronica Druzniak. She is the reigning Miss Maine and is working at Maine State Music Theater this summer as choreographer for the Family Theater Productions.
We started the conversation by asking why Maine State Music Theater wanted to open the season with South Pacific.
Well, I get asked all the time, what Rodgers and Hammerstein title are you going to do? There aren't an endless supply of them, but we hadn't done South Pacific in quite a while, and so it felt like the right time to revive it, and spring just feels right to do South Pacific. So it was our first show.
This is one of those shows where even if people haven't seen it, when they get to the theater, they'll say, oh, I know that song, I know that song.
Oh my God, yes. Some Enchanted Evening comes on and audience members put their arm around each other and they hold hands, and if you're sitting behind that, it just gives you this warm fuzzy when that happens.
You are going to be choreographing 3 of the Family Theater productions at Maine State Music Theater this summer. You're going to be working with performers who are about how old?
They're mostly college age. I work with the Maine State Music Theater Singers, which is the internship program that Maine State Music Theater has developed over the years. We pull in 8 either recent college graduates or current college students who are studying theater, and they get all kinds of opportunities over the summer. They do our Theater for Family Audiences series. They perform in the Maine Stage shows. They do concerts. They go around town and sing the Maine State Music Theater jingle at every restaurant in Brunswick. So I'm really actually very excited to be working with such a talented group.
I've been in a restaurant when they came in, and you were there too. Came in, it's very entertaining. It's a nice little extra course added to the menu. You have a background that comes in performing, so you have been a dancer and a singer and so forth. What is it like when you are telling performers who are not all that much younger than you are what to do on stage?
It's a very interesting experience being on the other side of the table. I've never done a full-length musical before, so this is kind of my first opportunity getting to do this in musical theater. But I'm hoping to strike a balance between encouraging them and loving them, and also getting them to do exactly what I want when I want it.
Yeah. And you know what that's like, particularly with this production of South Production, Kurt, because normally at Maine State Theater, or not normally, always at Maine State Theater, you're the artistic director who oversees the entire operation. But for this particular production, you also were the co-director. What was it like to, and you've done this before, but what was it like to get back into it?
Yeah, I love it. I love being in the room. I love seeing the talent create whatever, when we choreograph or direct something, watching what they do with what we give them is sometimes the most rewarding thing, because I always tell them, whatever I give you, when you make it better, I think I'm smart.
I've always thought that there's something really special about summer theater. I mean, I know that everybody involved is working, but there's still something in the air. It just feels like it's more fun than if you're doing theater in maybe November or February.
Well, especially when you get to come to vacation land and spend the summer in Maine, in beautiful Brunswick, creating art, going to local restaurants, enjoying the ocean. It really is a magical time, and it's something I think that is unique to Maine specifically.
You talked about the combination of the young professionals and our seasoned professionals that are in South Pacific. That, I believe, is the magic of Maine State Music Theater, because the youth and energy and desire that comes from the MSMT singers and the equity professionals from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, when they get together, the older people remember why they wanted to be in this in the first place, and the younger people, I hope to give them excellent union examples of how to be good performers for the rest of their lives.
Something that Maine State Music Theater is dealing with this summer, and other theaters around Maine and around the country, is you've got third parties that are coming in and reselling your tickets, scalping in effect. It is legal, as I understand it, but when people do not buy their tickets from Maine State Music Theater, they're also often being forced or being asked to pay markups that are enormous.
Yeah, we're being inundated with calls to the box office with people saying, how dare you charge $400 for a ticket? The top ticket price at Maine State Music Theater is $132. period. Nothing would be more than that for any seat in our auditorium. So if it's anything above that, it is not our ticket they're buying. The scalper is buying a ticket from us at a lower dollar amount and then reselling it to someone else for a higher dollar amount. The problem exists when they get to the theater and they find out, oh, this is a seat really far back that the scalper paid a very low dollar amount for and then charged them a high dollar amount. So please just make sure you're on our website, make sure you're at our box office. When you Google Maine State Music Theater in any one of our shows, the first 3 sites that come up are scalper sites. And we're below that, and we don't operate long enough to be able to afford to make Google put us up first. Other places like, StubHub and all those kind of things, they're higher than we are. And those are the tickets that people are getting charged those high dollar amounts for.
Buyer beware. South Pacific at Maine State Music Theater opens tomorrow night. It runs through June 22nd.
When